All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name's Rob. Everyone's looking pretty familiar. And today we're gonna try this particular style of yoga practice. Um, it is called basically free movement. I try to introduce this and add it to all my classes in a lot of different ways. But I want to kind of really hammer home the idea today of what this practice is. In essence, it's like dance. And I'm going to put you in a position, whether it's seated, standing, and I just want you to kind of like freely move in your body. All right. If you have music, get it ready. I'm going to like give you a minute to 2 to 3 in position to kind of like move almost like a dance. Okay. I'm always going to give some direction. Um, but today I want to focus like the first, let's say 20 minutes. And then we're going to be nice meditative stretch, a little bit of breathing work. But today to start, I want to really focus on this idea of moving the body in a creative, fluid, kind of intuitive way. Okay, so let's start in seated. So take a nice comfortable position. Sit up nice and tall just for like 1 minute. Let's just slow down, set our intention. I gave you some idea of where we're headed with class. So now start to tune your mind in. Ground your sit bones down, lift your crown up. Make sure you kind of shake your shoulders out. I notice sometimes when we sit, get the subconscious kind of shoulder tension. Try to relax. Maybe take a deep inhale in your nose. Big exhale out the mouth. Try to feel your eyes relax as you exhale, okay? Now in the nose, deep inhale. If you'd like to hold, you can. And it's a nice slow sigh. Just like two, 3 more like that. So how today is going to work? I'm going to start like this, moving, and then I'm going to say, look up at me. You'll see a slightly different position, but I'm still, in a sense, dance-like movements. I do want to remind you that the main focus in yoga is kind of this mental aspect in the beginning. It's this idea of focus and attention and coherence and being present and mindful and feeling and observing, this kind of deeper layer of how we relate to ourselves. So regardless of like what we do on the outer level, we're studying ourselves. Okay. Okay. So if you'd like to peek up at me, let's start this practice. So free movement now. So we're going to start like this. Now, a lot of times we could start with something you're familiar with. You see this? It's a big circle. And I'm just starting to feel my body. Now, you know what's happening. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel your sit bones, feel your ankles and feet. How's that energy feeling? How's the breath doing? Use the breath in this dance, okay? And then look at this. It can start to go left to right. When you dance, you're not really worried about symmetry, right? Like I'm going side to side. Oh, look at the arms start to get into it. If you have music, you can turn it on. I got you muted, all right? Okay. And then I start to go just up and down a little. These are all kind of dance moves. Can I see that? I'm just going up and down. I'm starting to arch and round the spine. These are all suggestions to show you the complexity. It can really be anything. You don't have to follow me. Okay. And look at this. I start to roll my shoulders. If you're just joining, we're doing a specific style of practice for the first 20 minutes. Look at that. Look at this right shoulder low. Look at this. I'm kind of moving my shoulders in these opposite circles. Then the arms start to get involved. Yeah, my legs aren't moving yet, but don't worry. They're going to start to dance. Okay. And then I start to twist a little bit. All right. Now peek up at me. My legs go forward here. All right. So now my feet are in front of me. And then I start to kind of go here. I'm just dancing. My legs start to straighten. I want you to pretend like your favorite song's on. You're mindfully kind of dancing and moving to it. All right. Now you can do anything. Put your hands behind you and slowly lift your hips. You could even lay on your back for a moment. Okay. So I want you to try to practice. We have mostly regulars today, and I'm just trying to say, let's move our body in a lot of really complex ways. You remember, you know that the frontal lobes, like the prefrontal cortex of the brain, a lot of the neural synapse growth, the new neural connections, your neurons create this chemical. It's like neuron growing potential, where your neurons are reaching out to connect to new brain cells. Um, as we get older, guys, it's not that we're like losing brain skills. We are, myelination, but in the neuron sense, we're losing connections of brain cells. Each neuron can be connected to 10,000. And they find some, like people with Alzheimer's, they're like only like a couple connections. And movement is a great complex movement. That's the key. Complex movement is the way to create new brain cells. All right. So you did some here. Now, who knows? Maybe I'll go like this. Let's switch up the legs. So my legs go forward. And look at this. I start to go forward and back, and I'm dancing. If you're just joining, we're doing let's call it a yoga kind of dance flow. It's easy. Look at, I'm kind of fluidly moving. There's less structure, rigidness in this type of practice. My practices tend to be a little bit more stiff, slow, disciplined, okay? So I want to bring this angle in. I try to get some of it in every class, but we're going a big dose of it, okay? Oh, look at this. I lean back. I'm on my hands and the legs start to dance a little bit. Look at that. I'm twisting. I'm going side to side. I want you to be as creative as possible. I want you to move in many ways you never had before. Okay. So again, I'm kind of like this. I don't know what I'm doing right now, but it's different. Learning something new. Now I'm just drawing circles. I even sat up and reached forward, and then I reached back. It's your favorite song. You just get crazy to it, right? All right. Now look, I go down to the back. Now here's a little interesting one. You try to like dance a little on your back. You're moving free. You can make it yoga. You can twist to the right and to the left. You can press your hips up in bridge and dance those hips. Okay. You can even do a little crunch and move your legs like this. Look at that. You could be dancing like this. So we're moving our body extra today. It doesn't have to be as fast as I'm doing or as complex either. I'm trying to inspire you to be creative. Okay. That's really important part of our brain as well. The artistic side, the fun side. Yeah, you can turn up that music. And then we do this a lot in yoga. I'm just going to kind of keep moving forward, you can kind of see if you can dance like this. See how I'm like back and my hips, I'm rocking. A fun one here, look at this. I roll and I'm going into like a circle. Look at that. Now I'm facing this way, okay? And then I'm turning more. Just rolling around, getting a little silly. Let's have a different practice right now. Let's get into this a little bit more. We're basically going to do tabletop, down on your chest, lunge, and standing, and that's it. So we're like halfway or even further halfway from this part of the practice. All right. Yeah, like shake it out too. Yeah, like you go like this a lot, like just kind of like let loose. When you songs on, you're like, I've been moving a little slow just to kind of keep it, simple. But if you want to get loose a little bit, go ahead. You can already be up and standing if you want. All right, now listen, let's come back up to seated. And just for a moment, let's try yogi squat. So see if you can bring your feet forward. I'm a little ahead of you. And then try to dance a little bit here. Okay, look how it's outside the lines. It's hard to describe. I'm just kind of leaning right and left. In the advanced practice, I would say kind of turn a knee in like this, but be careful. That's not gentle yoga. All right. I might even say like lift the foot, bounce. But we're in a deep range of motion right now, so maybe a little extra caution there. We're just moving a little bit in yoga squat in ways you don't normally do. It could be just you know, a little bit more fluid and creative. A little bit there. Okay. And then I'm going to keep going here. We're going to step back to tabletop. And here's a big one. This is where you can get kind of really creative again. You know, it's just, you know, kind of could start with cat cow or cobra and child pose. So you start kind of linear just to kind of neutralize all that forward bending. And then you're starting to draw circles. So it starts a little bit more simple, like you're building up the dance. Take time for the subtle too. Circle those ribs. Okay, and then I start to add those hips back and forward. We do this one a lot, okay? Drawing circles. And now from here, you combine things like arm lifting, leg lifting, down dogging, even leg lifting and down dog. On your hands and your feet, dance, right? Or your knees, you know, or look at this. I'm back on my knees and I rise up here. And I'm moving that body more than you normally do, way more, okay? Keep going. The body is designed to move, okay? We want to make sure we, you know, have regular practices and methods that we don't want our body to lose its ability to move, okay? And a lot of times we're moving in very structured ways, walking, jogging, cycling. They're all very repetitive, small, rigid range of motions. This is the most biggest movement of your month, or who knows, maybe even your year. Okay, so you're still in the standing. Like if you haven't made it here, this is a little bit longer. Okay, you're just here. Now from here, I'm going to bring it to the next spot. So we only basically have lunges on both sides and standing position dance. And that's leads us into stillness, balance, down to stretch. Okay, so let's go left foot forward first. My right knee is down. Now I start to go here. I start to twist my core. I really want you to try to pretend like your favorite song is on and you're moving. Now, my knee hurts a little, Bob. Pat it. That's better. Okay, I'm starting to go forward. Uh-oh, look at this. I tuck the back toes. I lift the back knee and I'm moving. This is dynamic, like movement practice. Literally dance therapy is a thing, a fantastic thing. And movement therapy is too, like really moving, like, you know, see how I can kind of move those hips too? See that? See that movement? Yeah, I can even open to the side a little bit as long as the legs stay wide. I mean, I was gonna start you standing, but can all be morphed together. I'm just gonna give it that structure. And I'm starting to reach those arms. We've done this. We've done our arms up and back. We pull them down. We go up and down in the legs. Okay. Step back and forward. Yeah, no one new in class today, so you guys all know the usual structure of class is not like this. All right, so listen, you could either take your lunge up here, right to our second side, so my right leg is forward. And, you know, again, look at that kind of pelvis movement. Free it up, okay? And then twist a little bit in the upper body. You know, see what you can create. I step the foot over. Yeah. And then you could tuck your back toes and lift your back knee and get in them. You gotta be a little silly, okay? And then what we do to close this in, This is a nice kind of like cardiovascular, like move all the blood everywhere. We would turn open to the side. If you want to, and now it's just kind of like a front facing, like you would normally, like dance. Okay. So it can be anything, but yogic, right? Where we're kind of using it to gain information about ourselves, understand ourselves better, and move in ways that are kind of healing. Okay. When you dance and you get so into it, you start to move even faster. It's almost like you're running in place. Even sometimes you're like jumping. You're going up and down jumping. Okay, so that's a big part of the standing one. Just getting maybe a little bit more of that kind of fast twitch movement. Okay, we got about 1 more minute and then that's it in the standing movements, okay? So maybe really big movements now. Like literally anything, right? Move in in ways that you never do, never have, maybe you never will. Yeah, swing those legs, Sam. Nice. Step over, Leslie. I like it. Nice, Mom. Janet, looking good. You guys like this style of practice. All right, so from here, eventually, you go a little bit longer if you want. I want you to now stand as still as possible. It's kind of tricky. You move for almost 20 minutes there. And now I want you to challenge yourself as still as possible. Posture, okay? Roll the shoulders back and down. Now try to relax your body. Soften your face muscles. There is a little bit of core support, but it's easy. Close your eyes. See if you can let your lungs relax. No deep breathing. Maybe 1 or 2 if you need that to kind of calm down. But allow your lungs to relax as well, almost like a standing Shavasana. See if you can feel the subtle sensations, energy pulsing in the body. Standing meditation. Let's take another minute or 2 here. If you'd like to add breath work, you can, but I do want you to kind of really slow, calm the body down first. Once you're in that relaxed trance state, a slow inhale following meditating on the breath. If the mind is really racing, you can use the breath. So we will take this stillness and continue it right into balance. Okay, so movement, man, we've really opened up everything. So now let's kind of work on that strengthening, keeping everything the same. Left foot on the inner right shin. So even though the movement's active, it's not really considered like strengthening. It is, but not like in a really effective way. So we're going to lift our core. Let's bring our hands to prayer, and then let's reach our arms up. So classic tree pose. I tend to teach this a lot in the gentle. Weight in your right heel. Lift up. See if you can even lift your right toes for a moment. And then be really aware of your core. Can you lift your side bodies, engage hips to support more there? Can you relax the arms a little bit like the traps? Don't look down, look forward or up. A couple more breaths. Okay, now please take your time, big inhale, moving mindfully, Tadasana, symmetrical posture. Right foot on the inner left shin. Weight a little bit more into the heel. Arms go up. Gaze forward or up. A meditation, breath work. I want you to remember, yogis, how balance is going to affect every part of your body and brain. Nice job there. Now take your time. Some of you kind of got right in. Some of you took a good 15, 20 seconds extra. So take your time if you need a little extra there. Okay, we're going to come back down to Tadasana. If you need to move a little bit, that's fine. All right, back to posture. So now I want you to think, we've done tons of movement, so a little less like fidgeting in between and more like Tadasana to pose. I still practice in between, but less extra unnecessary movements. Second bounce, first leg lifts, intertwine your fingers 2 inches below the knee. Straighten your right leg, press down through your right foot equally, the heel, and lift that knee up into the chest. Bend the elbows, hug them in, and hold position. Breathe. Try to lift the right knee a little high, the left knee, the top knee a little higher, and the chest a little higher, the crown a little higher. And this standing leg glute, the back of the hip, should be hopefully working here. I call this glute tree, standing knee to chest when you're moving posture. It's a really practical one, guys. If you're looking to strengthen your glutes, some really easy ways you can do it. Yeah, you're not at a gym, right? You're not, you don't have weights. You don't want to go sprint. Squat jumps are too hard and lunges. Just hold this daily, multiple sets. Okay, it's unreal. Mixed with this, just a leg swing back and a pulse. That's unreal. Okay, second side. Yeah, take a moment, less unnecessary movements now. Second knee up, opposite pinky bind, so the fingers shift one down. Here we are, elbows in. And now try to feel it. Press down through your left heel a little bit more. Pull those ribs in, lift the right knee higher. Use this as hand strength too, right? I'm really standing up here, hugging those elbows in. Driving through the standing foot. Yeah, and the goal is to hold it, right? That's how we're going to get stronger, not by the quick hold there, but by trying to go basically as long as we can, okay? Basically, the more difficult it gets, the strength's really pouring on, okay? We'll meet Tadasana. Less fidgeting, reduce unnecessary movements. Toe balance. Feet hips width distance, arms forward. Hold the arms there, please. Good posture. Lift your heels. Hold. You can bend your knees. This is the functional. We want to teach your body to walk and move and be more skillfully and capable on your feet. That's when you need it. All right? We don't really need to be strong. You do have to be strong. Get up off the floor, out of bed. But most functional strength is on the feet or seated. but mostly on the feet, okay? Now go slow, big inhale, heels down, arms down. Less fidgeting. Second round, we have options, arms forward, heels lift, knees bend. I can go down a little bit and up, down a little bit and up, bend the knees. You can even reach your arms up for more challenge here, okay? You could like walk a little bit, but make it a really slow walk, okay? The idea is to turn on like the toes. I call it toe balance, where we shift weight to the front of the foot and the toes are really firing, strengthening to stabilize our weight. Now, and the inner outer arches too, right? There's a lot of subtle shifting and coordination there. So you're either going up and down or walking. There is, in more advanced class, I would say your heels are about a quarter inch off the mat, and then you lift one foot. So it's a toe balance on one foot, but that's probably maybe not gentle yoga. Let's be careful not strain the arches of our foot. If they're not strong, we don't want to go too crazy, all right? So back to Tadasana, reduce unnecessary movements. So now a strengthening backline exercise. We did glute, okay? We're gonna do lateral next. So we got two movements here. So feet about hips width distance, hands on hips. I want you to slow this down, take time to feel it, okay? Bend knees, feet parallel. Think cat-cow. So this is more of that cow. I'm gonna lean my weight into my toes. It's more of like a neutral spine. Pull the belly in, okay? Lean forward into the toes, but look at my toes. They kind of lift, make sure I'm not over cramping. So I'm here. Notice my buttocks is not way far back. You see how my hips, if I were to go straight down, they're 6-8 inches behind my heels. I want to try to bring my hips forward like over the heels. See that more? And I want to take time to feel this. Now, bent knees is first. Belly in, bent knees. With practice, you can start to really straighten your legs. But yogis, you got to be extra careful there because there's way more strain, especially there's tension in the knee because we'll get lazy. You got to engage your legs more. You really have, the reason you bend your knee will force you to engage your muscles. If you lock the knee, you can get very lazy, have a lot more backline strain, lower back, knee strain. So come back up, squeeze your butt at the top, work your good posture, pull your belly in. Go ahead. So yogis, we're really only gonna do we're in the strengthening part of class. It was movement, now it's strengthening, and then it's gonna be kind of slow stretch release. So you kind of have those three really different parts of class today, all right? So you're holding, you're feeling, you're working on how you can activate your core, you feel strain in your back. What can I do? Okay, can I relax my traps more? Is my back too rounded? No? Okay, can I activate the core in a way? Oh, is my weight too far back or forward? Are my feet symmetrical? This is that self-study. The body will send you a message of pain. That's basically inefficiency. It's either a weak muscle, it's a tight muscle, stuck muscle, or some type of lack of muscular engagement quality. So I want you to get into this. It's called, it's like a hamstring hinge, backline tension. So you're gonna feel it in the back of your legs. Then you stand up, good posture, kind of squeeze your butt and your thighs. Posterior tilt. Inhale, anterior tilt. Exhale, posterior tilt. There is a machine, contraption at like a gym, day club, Equinox, wherever you go, and you hook your thighs on it. You're leaned over like halfway forward. You hook your heels behind pads, and you bring your chest down like this, and then you come up like this. And everyone uses it at the gym. You know, it's a great one to use. I'll be honest, when I'm at the gym, most people use it terribly, not even close to, what they could do with that thing. But it's that same main gym exercise. Another way is with weights where we hinge like this, okay? If you want to build a lot of muscle, all right? Very good job, guys. I see most of you are kind of done there. It was a long description, so we'll end there. Take a moment. So I am going to bring in the more challenging lateral movement. If it is too much, this just takes care of lateral tilt, lateral legs, and spine. It is the moving triangle. And then on the end, I will cue the hold. So we are going to do triangle close. So if you have blocks, place them near your feet. Now let's start with the right side. My right toes turn out and my left toes turn to the right. Okay. Now I'm playing with the position of my feet. Some people say heel to heel alignment. It's not the same. The bone structure is one of the limiting factors of movement. So we have to adjust. There's different positions of hips and pelvis sizes. So it's 2 parts on the way down, or really 3 parts, but it's parts on the way down, 1 whole contraction on the way up. If you're new, watch me. I drop my right hip down. Now, my right knee can be bent. You will get less tilt though. I'm going to reach forward. That's the second part. And then I'm going to hinge and the arms kind of move with the spine. And then back up to neutral. Pelvis, the lean, and the spine. Okay? So first it's pelvis, right hip down. That's called a lateral tilt. Then we're going to reach out, elongate over the leg. And then it's this kind of hinge in the spine and the arms. And then it's back up. Okay? Now, if this is too much, you bend the knee. Watch. I just kind of go like this. I want a little lateral core work. If I do this, the pelvis stays more locked. It's going to be a lot easier on the lower back. It's a lot more isolated. If that's too much, hands here, because your shoulders are burning, right? And when we hold, instead of holding triangle, you can hold here, okay? So here we go. Let's hold. Big lateral stretch. You're about to see, twist coming. Or here. Any one of those postures in plane work. You could also do half moon if you want to go crazy, or even warrior 2 will do the job. Yes. Okay, now big inhale. Let's not hold too long. Now bend the knees, stand up. Take a moment. A lot of times during practice, I'm like, ooh, felt that. I'm a big fan of massage. I kind of take a gentle fist and I just get into those upper outer hips. Okay, see that? I even kind of go like this. Just kind of giving my glute a little bit of tough love. All these different self-care modalities were thrown into yoga practice. So, yoga is no by any perfect system. That's why I add anatomy and I add, qigong and I add like self-massage. Okay, second side. There's value to be found in all of it if you look at it a certain way. Okay, it's not one better than the other. Okay, so here now I'm pretty used to getting in the triangle, so I can find my spot pretty easy. But you'd be surprised. You got to keep adjusting. Okay, left hip down. Reach out laterally over the leg. Hinge, arms and spine. Back to center. It's an inhale down. Exhale up. It's a very big movement for this class. I've only taught this in gentle yoga in all my years of teaching. It's funny, I think I can remember this twice. This is the 3rd time. I normally don't consider this gentle, but we did so much movement. We did a lot of balance. We'll try it. Smaller group of regulars. Try to break it down in pieces on the way down. Slow it down, feel it all. Remember, you can do a bent knee and just go like this. Okay. You can also just go like this and move laterally. If that's all too much, we do this one a lot. Even something where you're just kind of up here, this. I've had you do this where we just kind of reach down the legs. It's a little bit more compressive, so I tend to lean away from that one. Hold when you're ready. Last 3 to 4 breaths, not a long hold. If it's too much, just bend that knee. Maybe you can rest the forearm on or even the hand if it's too much. Easiest, easier, and more challenging. A few years already did the strong class, so you don't need as much strengthening. We did all that, okay? When you're done, very nice job. Slowly stand up. Okay. Step your feet to the front of your mat. Bend and straighten your knees a little bit, or excuse me, lift your heels. Yeah, little heel lifts, little calf raises, really good for you guys. Try to do these regularly, okay? Now we'll take that nice. If you want to do a little extra leg strength, you could always bend your knees here and take a quick chair pose, where if you want to add that in. I'm going to start to get leaning towards more stretch and release. We do have 1 or 2 strengtheners on the ground, okay? If you'd like to make your way down like the yogis, inhale, reach your arms nice and high. And then bend those knees like we did earlier. Forward bend. Maybe even pausing here for a few breaths. Swaying side to side, taking a stretch. Walking your hands side to side. Another nice option, yogis, is I intertwine my forearms, creating a little bit more weight. Okay. Another one, you guys know it, a big stretch is where my hands swing behind my back. Okay. Last 2 to 3 breaths there. Now the next position is the tabletop. Whenever you're ready, hands plant, step back. Shake side to side. Now we were already here and did the movements. I'm just going to skip that. I do want to do a weight bearing on the arms, okay? I want to make sure we are stimulating your arm strength, bones, muscles regularly. What's a great way to do it? For gentle yoga is that gentle push-up, okay? This is something we've been working on, so hopefully you might start to feel, some growth, So starting on the knees, that's how I do the gentle, lean forward. I like to bend the knees. It just kind of brings me more onto the thigh as opposed to like right on the kneecap like this. It's like on the front shin part of my knee. As I bring my hips forward and bend my heels to my butt, I kind of roll onto the thigh part of my knee, if that makes sense. Okay, now I'm going to spread my fingers. Don't let my back arch. Don't let my butt stick up and elbows go wide. I want to inhale. It starts by bending 1 inch. It starts by bending 2 inches. It starts by bending 3 inches. It's just that slow progression. Now, if you want a little extra challenge, you could try it with your toes tucked, knees lifted, right? A regular push-up. Or if that's too much, you could try with your knees down, basically bending and holding. Like I said, you could bend 1 inch and hold. Take time to feel. Grip your fingers, hug your elbows, bring your hips more forward. Then you bend 2 inches and you hold. This is to strengthen our upper body. I need you to work here a little bit because we're almost completely going to be stretching. And some of you do enough strength. It's totally cool. I get it. You don't need strength right now. It's not why you're in gentle yoga. So you just skip it or add something else in, right? And there's no way I can make that perfect class for such the variety of people and, the variety of conditions. So just keep, like I said, suggest, change it. No big deal, okay? You are literally welcome to come and do a completely different practice and just use the group energy to kind of help push you, okay? Now, here we go. We're going to take it down to our chest, guys. And I will do our lower back strengthener. We did our hamstring strengthener, our glute strengthener, and then now we'll just do this final one, and then we're going to be stretch heavy, okay? So here we go. The active cobra. Now, I will give options. I'm going to give you, once I demo, like a minute, just like the push-up. So elbows hug in, neck lengthens. Inhale, lift your chest. Now, I'm not really using my hands. They are there. Just notice the hands are under the shoulders. Watch me here. I slide my hands more underneath the elbows. Okay, now I lift my chest. I'm trying to push my pubic bone down, point my toes, activate my legs. I'm feeling my back engaged. I want to activate, turn on, strengthen, tension. Okay, lower down about 90%. Do not lower down all the way. Lift again. Lift your hands if you're doing it. That'll help your back more too. You hold, and then you lower down only about 70, 80, 90%. Okay, and then you come back up, and then you continue. Some options, you can reach your arms down, back wide, kind of like airplane wings, and the arms lift too. Okay, another option is to keep your hands where they were in that cobra, hands near the lower ribs, and push like lightly in your hands, okay? And that really gets you barely just a little bit more lift, basically activating the muscle in a new way or more activation in that muscle. And another add-on, listen here. Now, as you lift your chest, your arms, if you'd like, maybe lift the legs a little bit, okay? Last 30, 40 seconds, have one strong round, activating your back body. You know, there are variations where people do it with their hands behind their head, right? That also will get that back. It's just a lot more challenging. We do it with the arms wide. Again, we do it with the arms forward if you want to go crazy here. So, you know, don't be shy if you want to change it like that, okay? Just move slow. Take time to experience it and like really digest it mentally. All right, yogis. So listen, you're going to take a moment there. And our first stretch here, we have about 17 minutes left in class. So I want to keep adequate time for stretch. Child pose. Okay, so butt to your heels. I really want you to like slow down now. We've done a couple big tension things. Moving triangle, hamstring hinges, right from balance, push-ups, back crunches. Let's calm again, just like after the movement, okay? Big toes touch, knees wide. Another type of child pose that's really nice, guys, is the more traditional. This is where my thighs are actually together, feet together, kind of big toes touch, thighs together more. I lay the chest right on the thighs, forehead on the earth, but my arms aren't forward. They're down by side, reaching toward the feet, and my palms face up, my elbows relax. And I adjust a little bit, like I'm moving so I can get comfortable. Try to relax here. See if you can melt a little bit deeper. All right, so let's think stretch. All right, we're gonna come up to tabletop. If you want a quick down dog or anything, or you can throw that in now. So today we will do the light lunge twist here. We don't teach this one as much in gentle, but we want to think like a deep kind of cleansing twist for the abdominal cavity. You know, squeezing, kind of wringing out the digestive tract. All right, so we did this earlier. You're gonna step your right foot forward. Now notice how the right knee, I'm trying to get over the right heel. I'm not like here, okay? If you want to take that stretch, it's calling to you, just do it, who cares? All right, but what I'm instructing is this, okay? This kind of like more upright, just stack joint lunge, okay? Now the hands come in prayer, I bow my chest and I twist to the right. Now I want to try to press my feet down, pad the knee if it hurts, and I lengthen my spine, relax my traps, and I kind of feel the core now. I twist here, deep breathing. You know, this isn't really gentle, but you know, I'll just show it to you. What I do is I try to pull the belly and twist more. And then the left arm kind of goes outside and the right arm goes up. and you're like deepening. There's a thing called a bind in yoga where the hands meet in front of your left hip. There's no reason you need to force it, but that's where that goes for that really deep compressive wring out of the abdominal cavity. Okay, now let's not hold too long. Big inhale. Slowly come upright. Plant your hands, step your right foot back. You could throw in something if you want, a little neutralizer. I'm just going to go second side. Joint stack here, upright. Feet could be slightly wider, right? You don't need to be like on a line or anything. Okay, hands in prayer. As I lean forward with my core, I twist. And the right elbow's on the top of the outer left thigh. Okay, and I'm breathing here. You could always just tuck your back toes if you wanted more strength, but I wouldn't really consider that a gentle yoga pose. See in the bind, you might be able to see it here. The hands meet. I am medial rotated outside my right and my left knee, okay? My left arm's around my back. My right arm goes outside all the way and bends under the thighs to get that same bind you just saw, okay? So that's it, Darlene. Yeah, Leslie, that's not it. You're doing it silly. Yeah, so you're here, you were kind of think like this, but you have to go here first. And then this is the tough part. You can see, actually, this is a good angle to see it, guys. If you want, just for demo purposes, you don't need to try it. The first part is the arm spread outside. See how my right arm is outside my left leg. From here, it's called a medial rotation. Look how the hand went in between those thighs, and then the left arm around the back. So there's that bind. You see that? That's a tough one. Yeah, good. Then, Janet, you don't got to do that one, all right? We'll come back to center. Whew, big pose there for the gentle yoga, all right? So take a moment, let's sit up here. I want to think shoulder stretch, chest stretch, and we did push-ups, which is an action right through here. So nice stretch for there, okay? Sitting on your buttocks. Now look what I do here. My fingers turn forward. We can go right for a second variation. I think most of you can handle it. If you can't, the first one is fingers facing behind me. So they're behind, my shoulders are rolled out. Go slow, press your palms down. And either way, with the fingers forward, elbows bent, or arms straight, fingers face behind me, I walk my hips forward and descend the body down a little bit. So the first variation was here. Don't let the elbows kind of go out. Hug them back and around. Okay, there we go. Ooh, big stretch that I'm feeling today. Deep breath into the upper chest. So yogis, when you're done there, let's slowly sit up. We did hamstrings, inner thighs enough. If we were going to stretch the hips, I would think quadriceps or outer hip. And then maybe one less back bend or twist. Okay, that's like kind of what we're lacking. I'm not doing like the isolated stuff. Most classes will do wrist more and neck more. But we only got about 5-6 minutes left before we're going to take our final meditation. So if there are other things you'd like to do, you start doing those now, so you're ready for meditation when it comes. All right. So if you'd like the quadriceps stretch, this is the front body. We're definitely lacking there a little bit. We haven't done a big front body stretch. So we're going to lean to the left. You know it, the Virasana. It's kind of hard to replace this one. You could lay on your back, reach back, grab the top of the foot on your side. People lay on their chest and reach back. I'm trying to bend my knee deep and create length through the front body. All right, sit bones down. All right, and then I'm leaning back, taking a few breaths. Not too long of a hold today, all right? The main thing we're looking out for here, guys, is joint pain. Start with the knee. If your knee hurts in the joint, You want to be a little careful. You're probably going to want to like foam roll today. You know, basically get body work, like massage, muscular work around there, the calves, the shins, all the thigh muscles that cross the knee, even a little direct knee work. Um, or you can do it like non-weight bearing, where you're kind of just like holding here. I'm not using the hand, but I'm still bending the knee more with the muscles of the leg. I am pulsing to create more of a stretch. Okay, second side, please. Make sure, again, you're on the top of your left foot. Most of you is taking the seated version, left sit bone down. Your knees, just to be clear, are like together, okay? They can separate a little bit, about hips width distance, but not too wide. Right, so this stretch is tough. There's not too many real substitutes for it. Really any substitute is like basically the same thing. There's standing, laying, and we got to make sure we do it. Especially if we don't do Spanx or restorative bridge or like a stretchy cobra. Got to get that big front body in there. Okay. So when you're done, guys, we got a couple minutes left. Hip opener. If you want to do a nice outer hip opener, I'm starting to throw out a little bit more freedom and suggestions. Figure 4. Good old, it's classic. We do it, probably 7 out of 10 of these classes. We always do this one, right? Another nice option could be pigeon. If you wanted to go a little bit bigger, but get that same kind of stretch, you would come back to tabletop, almost down dog area, and you bring your right shin forward. I don't really think this is a gentle yoga stretch, but it is good that I include it sometimes. A lot of you can do this, and it's really good for you. So just make sure, you're kind of walking your hips back and down and lifting the chest. Okay, just a few more breaths. Second side when you're ready, figure 4, pigeon. There's also the Sukhasana, Gomukhasana, or really any hip stretch that's calling you. So one last hip stretch of choice. Second side. Use your breath. So you're going to take another breath or 3, finish up your final hip stretch, and give you about a minute. If you want to lay on your back and do a twist or seated twist, if you want to lay on your back, throw your legs up in the air or throw a block under your butt or chest. How about we say one last pose, personal. Finish up physical practice. And then be ready for a closing meditative state. As you can see, we kept we started the most movement, the most active part, and then it was more like static active, the strength. And then it was kind of like active stretching and then more passive stretching. And now it's like the peak of the passive, that whole spectrum. All right. This part's very important, guys. A lot of people tend to skip this. You know, I'll teach big classes and quite a few people will leave with Shavasana, and it's not a good thing to get into. Even if you have to leave early, do your Shavasana before. You have to leave 10 minutes early, start your Shavasana 3 minutes before you have to leave. Okay. So when you're ready, take your time. Final position. If you want to try something different, yogis, you could try taking Shavasana laying on your chest. It's a little different. You got to kind of get comfortable there. Turn your head to a side, prop an arm under you. But, I want you to get in somewhere comfortable. And you kind of shake your body out a little bit, whether it's on your back or seated, you shake out your shoulders. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath or two, maybe holding the breath or even sighing it out. You get better at the kind of setup into the relaxation. And then eventually you let your lungs relax. There's no deep breathing in Shavasana. It is a relaxation of all muscles, so that breathing is muscular. So your breath almost goes to the natural state where you're not breathing. It's so small. Relax your abdomen, your jaw, your tongue, your eyes, and you really just melt. You surrender into the floor. Our final pose here. right, yogis, if you have a few extra minutes, please take your time, remain where you are. When you decide to exit, it's subtle movements, maybe a conscious breath or two. And it's one last scan through your body. Ankles, wrists, move your head a little bit, your neck. Maybe a full body stretch, not too much yoga on the back. Did a strong kind of, last week we did that kind of gentle core sequence. So it was a lot on the back, okay? So eventually make your way to seated, please. Traditionally in yoga, a mantra, a prayer, an offering. You can bring your hands to prayer, just tuck your chin. And it's kind of like, a gratitude journal. It's one of those powerful things for like healthy mind and body, chemical response. But it's almost like a mental gratitude journal. You kind of like for a moment think in your mind, say what you're grateful for in your mind, see it, visualize it, feel it. All right. And I really appreciate you guys. Great work today. Thank you for being here. Namaste.